Welcome everyone to a brand new week, the week of September 26 to 30, 2022 in the market, the foreign exchange market. As usual, we're going to be taking a look into what is happening in the market, how can we trade, what are we looking out for, what's happening in the economic calendar, are there important news that we want to take note of for this week, and how do we want to trade? We will make this as fast as possible. So let's go. If you have any currency pair that you want us to be looking at that I probably am not checking yet, or I don't have in today's video, please do well to let me know in the comment section. Like this video, show support for these videos that I do every week, and let's know you're with us on the channel. Please subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. It's highly important because there are a lot of trading tips. If you look also on this channel, I have added beginner training, okay, free beginner courses that you can learn from, a lot of them that would help you have a good foundation in your trading business, okay? So welcome once again. Let's go take a look at the economic calendar and see what is happening this week in the market. So we're going to pay attention more to the high impact news, the one with the red folder. This week I decided to use the Forex Factory. I usually look at the XM economic calendar. So today I somehow have opened the Forex Factory. So let's take a look from there as well. The major currency news that we have in the market from major currencies are these ones with red folder. The one with orange folders are also important. They are of medium impact, and the one with yellow folders are low impact. So let's say Italian parliamentary election, that one already happened this morning. ECB President Lagarde's speech is expected for 2 p.m. today, GMT +1. That's on Monday. USD tomorrow. Okay, no, it's still today. No, that's tomorrow, Tuesday. Fed Chairman Powell. We're expecting his speech as well. These are some of the speech where people listen to get some mention, some of what they are saying in the speech that could help us have an idea of the next move by the government, the next move by the central bank on the monetary policy, or what they are doing to tackle inflation or to help the economy and all of that. So that's a good reason why people like to listen to speech from like the president, the chairman of the central banks, you know, from different countries. So that's what we look out for. We also have CB Consumer Confidence for tomorrow. Which other red folder we have? Okay, Fed Chair is also going to speak on Wednesday. We have Canadian dollar GDP month over month. There's also the GDP quarter over quarter final for the US, unemployment claim as well. Those are of medium impact, but it's also important because they would lead us to what we are expecting in the next NFP, for instance, the unemployment claim. We have NZD, the RBNZ governor speech as well. What else do we have? FOMC member Pollard's speech. Okay, we know that the FOMC makes decision on the interest rate. So listening to the speech of one of the members would help us have an idea of what they may want to do. We also have COPS PCE price index. Okay, so these are all what we are expecting in the news. There's no interest rate decision. There isn't much from GDP. We have some GDP, well, but not so much. We don't have a lot of inflation reports. I think we have cost CPI. No, we have cost CPI flash estimate year over year for euro. We have CPI flash estimate as well. Okay, but the main one that we like to take a look at, a lot of them are not happening in the week, or compare with last week, where we have a very highly volatile market because of the interest rate decision and all of that. Maybe this week is going to be better. Okay, so let's go back to the chart and let's see. We're starting from DXY as well, like the way we have always done. And what are we seeing? This is a huge movement. This month has been really big, big bullish move. Last month was bullish, but I was highlighting the resistance and thinking, okay, maybe we're going to have some pullback. We did have a little bit of pullback if you look at it from lower time frame. But what do we have next? It continues to move to the high side. And if you look at the monthly, it's an up moving candle. USD has been really strong compared with the other ones. We are looking at we may have some change or a little bit of correction, but it's still strong. The last time we were here is 2002. Okay, let's see if we can squeeze the weekly together to see. Yes, this is it. That was 2002. November. Okay, no, this is where we are now. Okay, this is where price is 113.74. Okay, so it was somewhere here in 2002. May 2002. So that is the high we had 20 years ago high. Since 20 years, price hasn't, after 20 years ago, price hasn't been here until now. So this is a strong area we have, and it's looking like this wants to go all the way to this high before we see some level of change, which is around the 120. Okay, so we're paying attention to it. Dollar is strong. Now let's see Bitcoin. What do we have with Bitcoin? How did the last week close? Okay, we have bearish candle closing last week, and it's a clear bearish candle with a little bit of wick above. If I see this around the support, I would expect, oh, sorry, that's 2 weeks ago. I would expect a close below, and last week I'd actually closed below that support, but a little bit like an indecision candle. So what am I expecting? I expect to see some pullback and entry. So maybe like rally, enter at rally, pull back, and then continuation to the downside. That's what I'm saying until I'm proven wrong by seeing a clear change to the upside in the direction. Let's go. I want to be as quick as possible with the analysis today because I have another thing to do. We also have oil. Oil is really bearish at this time. I would be careful buying oil. I know that there could be some pullback, but the major direction remain bearish. How about gold? Gold is also bearish. We have this support on the weekly time frame that our highs have been on. And finally, price is below it at this time. So see that support that you would see that it got touched a couple of times in the past. But we finally have a break below it. Last week is sitting pretty below that support. And now I'm thinking we may see a little bit of rally, we see some pullback, and then we see continuation, and that helps us to do some sell. USD CAD, big bullish market. Oil is also weak, so I think that is affecting Canadian dollar, but USD on its own is quite strong, and we see that it's obvious. We are around the zone as well now, and I'm expecting that we can see pullback anytime soon. Okay, so you see that this got touched in the past. The price was somewhere around there, and now we are back there. Maybe we would see pullback from here. I would be paying attention from the lower time frame to see if we could find good entry. Let's move on to Euro USD. Euro USD has also been bearish. However, we see that the bears of this money already been corrected, and it's possible that we close the week in bullishness. So I'll probably be looking at lower time frame to see whether there are good entries. So the market is bearish. In fact, that's how I'll put it. The market has been bearish. See, a lot of the currency pairs are all pointed to the downside. The stock market, the US stock market is bearish. Everything is just pushing to the downside because of the strength of US dollar. What do we have? British pound USD, strong move to the downside. However, this is a strong support that the last time it was touched, I think, was 1985 or so. So now we are having change. Looks like it's touched that place. The sellers could not be sustained, and it is trying to move back up. Maybe by then, before the end of today or by the day, time today's candle would close, if it closes very bullish, that would be some bullish pin bar there, and I like to trade that in a buy. So that could help us find buy if it remains bullish. That would mean that we are seeing some correction against the dollar. Let's see the NZD USD. NZD USD is also around a strong support now, and I'm expecting pullback from there. USD CHF is also around the zone. We still have a little bit more space to the upside, but I think it is possible that it moves down from here as well. USD yen, what do we have? A strong uptrend, which in the last 3 weeks has been more like consolidating around the same price. We also have the yen government intervention, which may have effect on how this one is traded. The market is bullish, but I would expect that this is going to get bearish at some point because of this intervention. It may not be a long-term bullishness, but it would see some it may not be a long-term bearishness, but we expect to see some this week. Okay, Euro, British pound, what do we have? Okay, this looks like the opposite of what we saw with British pound, USD, British pound, and some other ones the other time. There is a strong move to the upside, or in case of the British pound itself, a strong move to the downside, and now it's correcting. The question is this going to continue down? All right, so this had got to around this resistance. Let's see. Okay, so you see that we have like a resistance here. This area has been touched a couple of times. I can highlight it as an area, a zone that has been touched plenty times. And that's where price got to now. It's now bouncing down. The price would close lower like this, below like this. I would expect that we see some sell-off in the coming week. Euro AUD. Euro AUD is bearish, and all of this look like correction for me, and I would expect to see continuation to the downside. Euro Canadian dollar, bearish, but it looks like we're having correction at this time. Euro is trying to be strong, but I also, based on my analysis, do not expect it to really be strong because of what we are seeing in the Eurozone. If you read news and everything, there's a lot of controversy around what's likely going to happen in the winter for gas, energy consumption, and all of that is affecting them because of the issue of import, export, exchange rates, and all of that. So that's still there. The war is there. A lot is happening there. So I do not expect to see any major strength with euro. So it is possible that the Canadian dollar would continue being strong at some point, and that would help us see sell opportunity. What do we have with euro yen? Let's see that as well. Euro yen, we have like a double top happening. We had this massive downtrend last week because of the intervention, obviously. So I would expect that if that intervention continue, this will push to the downside, but we would see some level of correction before we see the continuation. Now, which we are seeing now, it looks like we are correcting. So if this will correct to some level, I would expect to see continuation to the downside. Euro NZD, okay, we have a double bottom with this. We are around the neckline. If the neckline got broken to the upside, I would expect to see a continuation. Last week had closed bullish, but because of the week above it, when it got to around our resistance, I would expect that it is possible that I will see correction. Okay. So until I see a break above the neckline and closing above, before I decide that I want to continue bullish on this. Okay. Okay, Euro CHF, bearish. It's been bearish for a long while, but the candle, the momentum we are seeing in the market this morning is looking bullish. It looks like we're having some strength, which could push this to the upside a little bit. CAD yen, also bearish based on what the intervention. So we saw last week candle closing bearish, and we could see continuation to that this week as well. British pound yen, okay, just like I had explained with British pound USD, we have this big move to the downside earlier today. Last Friday's candle, last week candle had really been bearish as well. So I would expect that this corrects a bit and continue down, but it all depends. If this would close bullish, it could indicate that this is going to be some new bullish to the trend. Then we have British pound AUD. It looks the same way like the British pound yen. So I would have the same explanation for those. The same for the British pound CHF. If it closes bullish, it could indicate a buy. If it closes bearish, we would continue selling. Same with the British pound card. Let's see, British pound NZD. So you would see that across board, it looks like British pound is trying to get trend, get stronger again after the massive movement to the downside. Okay, let's look briefly. AUD NZD. AUD NZD is bullish, as you can see. It's been bullish for quite some time, but of course, I would expect to see correction to the downside. Okay, so that's all I have for you today, and I hope you got value from this. If you also have a way you analyze your own chart that you would like to tell us, please put that in the chat box. Subscribe to this channel if you've not done so. If you are looking for who is that coach that can hold you by the hand and walk with you every step of the way, please reach out to me. I am here ready and willing to work with you. Aside from working with you on some of our paid courses, we also have offered you free beginner's room professional courses on our website. You can look the details below this video to find the link and go watch from that basic level. Have an idea of all the basics of trading. Okay, so that's all we have for you today. Please do well to have a beautiful day ahead of you.